What's going on, dudes and dudettes? Sorry about my face here. I did just take a shower right now, and of course my skin is so sensitive that even when washing it, it gets irritated, which makes no freaking sense. But thanks, parents. Let's get on to this next video. So yes, we have a lot of finalists for awards for the NBA, a lot of them connected to my teams. So for MVP, LeBron made the list, of course, from the Lakers. I don't think he's going to win it, but it's just a good season overall for a 35-year-old. And then for the Defensive Player of the Year, Anthony Davis is on the list as well from the Lakers. First time he's pretty much been on there his entire career. He said he wanted to do it at the beginning of the season, so congrats to him. And I don't think he's going to win it, but I think he should. But I'm pretty sure both of those awards are just going to go to Giannis. And then as far as Rookie of the Year, Zion Williamson out of Duke from the New Orleans Pelicans made it as a finalist, but I believe just because of how many games he has not played this season, Ja Morant, the guy from Memphis, is going to win it, which is well deserved. He played more games, still had good stats as well. Was a number 2 overall pick, so it's not like you're losing that much ground, really. Stupid light. But yeah, as far as some other bit of Duke news, they have some two players that a lot of people wrote off pretty early once they're getting drafted or coming into the NBA, just because they didn't think like defensively they would step up or be able to play with the team, just worry about themselves. Gary Trent Jr. of the Portland Trail Blazers, I'm going to keep talking about this guy because his stats are crazy right now, especially coming off the bench and sometimes starting here and there. But he's shooting over 50% from the three-point line, which is amazing in today's NBA, no matter how little or how much you play. But he's definitely getting those shots up and did it well again yesterday. So I'll tell you, he's coming. Hopefully he'll sign somewhere else after this in a couple years, but have to wait and see. And also another ex-Duke player a lot of people wrote off even while he was still in college was Grayson Allen, the shooting guard from Memphis. He's been getting a lot of playing time down there because of injuries and different rotations that they're doing, and he's averaging like 15 plus, almost 17 points a game down in the bubble, which is great because he probably would not have been getting playing time with Justice Winslow and Jaren Jackson Jr. did not go down to injury, but he's doing the most of what he can, and definitely very happy for his success. Hopefully he can keep it going the next couple games, and we'll see what his future holds in the NBA after this. And then Keaton Slovis, the star quarterback for USC, the young guy, the sophomore, he's now part of the movement. Instead of the We Are United that college football was, now it's the We Want to Play movement, where a lot of the top players all around college football are saying they want to play football this season. It's just if it's really going to happen or not. But a lot of other shows I've been watching and hearing stuff here and there, like as most likely by tomorrow they'll let people know if something's really going to happen. But I think the Big Ten, the Pac-12, places like that are going to cancel, and it just looks like, of course, the South and the SEC and ACC and the Big 12 as well, Texas, the Midwest area, that they still want to play. But I don't know if you should be playing now. You should definitely hold it off until the spring to get all those measures and everything as safe as you can for these players, because there's definitely more players here than there is in basketball. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that, and it's going to definitely suck without college football this fall, but we could deal with it. So of course, once again, the Lakers come up short against the Indiana Pacers, and LeBron had a nice game, 31 points, 8 and 7, and then Quinn Cook, the ex-Duke guy on the Lakers, now had 21 points. It's pretty good, but still in a losing effort, especially to a guy like TJ Warren, who I've been trying to get onto the Lakers past like 2 or 3 seasons, but of course they don't listen to me. And then somehow during the draft, Phoenix gives him away for just money, which is insane. But like, how could you give up a player like that just for basically a draft pick you're not going to use and money? I don't know. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have given him to the Lakers because they're the same division, but yeah, I don't know why the Lakers weren't up on that. And then also we got LeBron stating or complaining that he's still trying to get used to the bubble. and still playing in empty arenas without fans and stuff. I mean, shouldn't be really that an excuse for that type of player. Everyone else is doing just fine and scoring and doing a lot of stats, and their teams are doing well except for the Lakers right now. But I don't know. Another guy who has been really pissing me off lately, especially on defense, is Kyle Kuzma, and they've been saying that he wants to become an elite defender, play a lot better. He's been saying that the past 2 seasons since LeBron has been on the team, because he's always had the offense, but he needs to work on his defense. And of course, the last couple games, especially the ones they've been losing against the better teams, you could definitely see he's a link in the chain, as they say, when it comes to that last bit of defense. He gets blown by his random guys who hardly even play and not rebounding well on the defensive side. So I don't know. I think it's definitely time to give up on Kuzma if LeBron and AD stay, but if not, then he's going to be the only type of scorer they have going into next season, which is so crazy to think about. Lakers fans don't even think about that. I think about that on a weekly basis whenever I do these videos. But yeah, JJ Redick, the main guy, the reason why I started liking Duke basketball back in like 06, 07. Apparently he's had, it says right there, a 21-year straight playoff thing was snapped, because sadly the Pelicans did not make it this year. They got kicked out during the bubble, well, they lost too many games. But I'm trying to figure out, because I know a stat during that game the other day saying that he made it the last 13 or 14 years to the playoffs, but I don't know how that is a straight streak. So I don't know if they're going back to college and putting it all together, like him making playoffs and stuff, and even going to high school. But it's not really straight if you lose, if you miss one game or miss 1 year to the playoffs. So I don't really know what that thing is, but yeah, at least 13 of his 14 years in the NBA, he's made it to the playoffs, and now it's another year that he hasn't, which sucks, but that's what he gets for going to a rebuilding New Orleans team. And then, as of the other week, USC still once again had 0 positive tests for COVID-19 on their facilities, which is good. Hopefully they can keep it up, but just across town, UCLA isn't doing that well of a job. I heard they had like 8+ people get it, so bunch of retards over there. Then John Houston Jr., ex-linebacker for USC, who I was up and down on. He should have been a way better player at USC, in my opinion, especially since he was a 5-star guy, but just never lived up to the hype. And I wasn't surprised he went undrafted, but he did get signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they did recently release him, so good luck to him. Hopefully get on another team, but stuff. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier with JJ Redick, Zion Williamson did play his last game in the bubble. He had 25 points, 7 rebounds, shot 50%. He looks good, but still needs some work. Don't know if what they're going to do this offseason is try to get him to lose as much weight as he can and just try to keep as much muscle, just to be able to be a lot more nimble on the court. But I mean, as far as him being out there during his rookie year, was a success. Wish it was a lot more than with the injuries he dealt with. But if he just loses, maybe everyone says like 50 pounds, I'd say like start with 20 to 25, see what he can do with that, and maybe work up to that 50 like Charles Barkley did. But I don't know. The future looks good for him if he can stay healthy, and that's all I'm happy about for a guy coming out of Duke. And speaking of the Pelicans, so assistant coach right now with the Lakers, Jason Kidd, is reportedly he could be in like negotiations with them, or be up for an interview for a head coaching job if the Pelicans decide to fire Alvin Gentry after this season, just because it's, once again, they didn't make the playoffs as well. And I think it's a perfect match for the type of player Jason Kidd was and the type of player Lonzo Ball is now that is there at point guard, even though I dislike Lonzo Ball entirely. But he will be a better point guard with Jason Kidd instead of Ty Lue, who they're mentioning, who was an ex-Laker as well as the head coach. But have to wait and see about that, because Jason Kidd did not take the New York Knicks job, which is probably the more lucrative job, but I think you'd have more success even in the West with the Pelicans, in my opinion. Then defensive men for the Anaheim Ducks, Jacob Larson signed a 2-year deal to stay with the team. I believe it's like around a little over $2 million. So he's been in and out of the lineup starting wise for them. So he's a good bench player. Glad he was back, and still have a couple players, even their goalie, to see if they're going to re-sign or not. And then we'll see how much money they have left for free agents and everything like that. Then one of my favorite ex-USC linebackers, Cam Smith, I think he was going into his second year this year with Minnesota Vikings after getting drafted last year in the 5th round, but apparently because he ended up getting COVID, and during all those tests they ended up finding out that his heart is like a little bit bigger than normal people, and so not normal people, a little bit bigger than normal. And so they also noticed that there's one of the valves needs to be replaced or done something to be able to make sure his heart doesn't fail, which is pretty crazy. How, I mean, it's a weird blessing in disguise that he got COVID, because maybe he would not have been able to figure that out. But it does look like even after successful surgery that should happen soon, that he will be able to play again and resume his career with Minnesota, which is great. I mean, hopefully they don't rush him back because it is open heart surgery, but we'll see how that goes. Praying for you, buddy. Hopefully successful surgery coming up soon. And yeah, good luck to you the rest of your career. And one of my top guys, especially when USC was not able to play in like the postseason and be able to go for that stuff because they were hit with sanctions and stuff, this one talented guy out of high school and down here in Southern California, Sua Cravens, decided to come to USC because it was his favorite school. But there's always a weird drama going on with him, and it's a great video Harris Highlights did on YouTube. It's like 30 minutes, but it's just because of how much stuff that went in, even when he was at USC, where people thought he didn't want to be on the team anymore or did not want to play football. But it was more because of a position change, because he was like a cornerback and defensive back, but now they want him to play linebacker and outside linebacker nickel, which is a little bit different. You have to get bigger for that too, but I think he did a lot better at that position, in my opinion. That's why he was drafted so high in the 2nd round in that draft to the Washington football team, as they're now called. But while he was there, a lot of crap happened where they misdiagnosed his injuries, and he never felt right once he suffered a big time concussion during his playing days over there. And his mind never was right, his vision was never good, and they still wanted him to go out there. And then there's a lot of misleading information, like going back and forth, and them not telling him the correct stuff, and him getting in trouble over it. And eventually they let him go. They traded him to Denver, and he was there right now, but then he decided to let go of his NFL career, and now he's doing a lot better as a child of his own, and he looks a lot more happy than when he was playing. So that's good for him. Hopefully he has a rest of a happy life and get rid of those concussions and all that, those stupid symptoms he had with them. It just sucks. But you know, I'm running out of space, so I need to convert this video and talk about the last thing real quick. And yeah, because I need more time. It's just crazy how hair fluffs up more and more throughout the video. But yes, to finish this video off, so yes, Austin Rivers, ex-Duke shooting guard, was freaking awesome. He had his career high yet last night with 41 points. I believe his previous career high was about 36, 37. And it came in a game where he played most of the game. Even James Harden, a lot of the top guys were in the game as well. And he kind of mentioned, like even before heading to the bubble, that he used to play at those arenas that are on the Walt Disney complex because he used to live out there in Florida. So his team was that talented, I guess, so they would always be able to get to play there. So he thought he had the biggest advantage, or was gonna, do the best out there. But he was just kind of average. He wasn't really getting as much playing time that I think he should. And he just looked okay. So it was kind of like saying nothing for no reason. But of course, once he gets hot and gets going, like how he did at Duke and how he did in high school, he showed out and looked great. He was doing moves that he was doing back in Duke and in high school, which you kind of wondered where the heck was that? Where the heck has that been the last like 5+ years? So very happy for him. A lot of great highlights to show. Hopefully talked enough throughout this thing to be able to show all of them. So pretty long thing, but yeah, gotta do something about this because it's all. See, even if you put it to the side, it's like not bad. I don't know. It looks fake, but surprisingly it's not. So might go for the mo haircut or do something else. But yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.